Hey guys, welcome to another one of my runs in DFFOO Global Act 3 Finale Part 1 Thirst of Chaos. This run was originally intended to be mostly an auto class run, and I started off with the usual core and gladio, but after messing with the bosses for a couple of tries, I really wanted to do a run abusing the Gaze plus force attack that they have. For one thing, that attack gives the bosses 100% speed up and 100% turn rate up framed buff, and it debuffs you with minus 80% turn rate down. And you can imagine if you build a party focusing on often attacks such as Core and Auron here, you can really make use of those buffs and debuffs. I changed Gladio into Auron because I wanted to be debuffed with the turn rate down, and Gladio himself is immune to debuffs normally, so it's better to use Auron here. The one drawback though in my party setup is that Auron has a Vanille Sphere equipped, which also means that he actually dispels the boss's turn rate and speed up. So this run here doesn't fully abuses that attack, but even then it's a pretty comfortable win, and I can imagine that if you use an Auron without a Vanille Sphere instead, you'll probably be much more efficient in terms of off-turn damage. Now this is the Gaze plus attack right here. One note though, on top of the turn rate down debuff, it does also give you a minus 200% max brave down debuff as well, and you sort of slightly get around that by using the Brothers Summon. You still get lowered max brave across both your characters, but it doesn't matter too much because Auron lands a debuff that increases HP damage done, so you'll still be able to do respectable damage. The moment you get hit by Gaze plus, I swap in one of the characters, doesn't matter which one. Use a friend support that can help you charge the force gauge, so in this case I just use a Charlotta and I spam S1 5 times. This helps you to hit force time as quickly as possible, so that you can capitalize more on the turn rate down debuff on your characters. With the idea being that of course when you're debuffed with turn rate down, you want to be as much of it in your force time as possible. Anyway, coming back to the mechanics of this stage and why abusing Gaze plus is a good idea here, the other reason is that the bosses gain force extremely quickly here. Every action that you take, the bosses get a bonus 5% to their force gauge, so after just a couple of turns they actually hit force time and use Gaze plus. To get boss A to use Gaze plus, it does need to have Brave when it hits force time, and that sounds complicated to achieve, but it actually really isn't. Because they hit force time extremely quickly in the fight, all you really want to do is to adjust your first few turns with Core and Auron and try to time the enemy's force time after boss A has recovered Brave. Bosses normally recover Brave every 6 turns or so, and you do have a bit of window as long as you are on Core's turn and the bosses can hit more than 90% force time. You are good to go, because at that point you can just spam Core's additional ability and the boss will hit force time and will use Gaze plus. Anyway, once you've done that and you can enter force time with Core, the fight is essentially over. Core will cancel out the boss's force time, and because you are debuffed by turn rate down minus 80%, the bosses will get on average about 6 turns before you even get your next turn. In fact, if you've done it correctly and you've entered force time while being debuffed by turn rate down, as you can see, I actually just toggle auto plus on and the fight is essentially over. Core and Auron will kill off the bosses. One tip with Auron, you want to try to preserve 4 out of his 5 LD for force time. So at the start use only 1 LD to apply his LD buff, and then save the rest for force time. That's because Auron's LD ignores enemies' defense, and him using it during Core's force time will allow you to hit Core's force conditional, which requires 9999 brave damage, allowing Auron to plus 40% the force gauge during his turn. Also, both of my characters here have 5/5 ultimate weapons, If you don't have 505 ultimate weapons, it's probably still doable. I actually killed the bosses without popping summon before force time ends. So what you can do if you are lacking in damage is to wait until force time is at 1 turn remaining and then toggle auto plus off and just pop summon for massive damage at the end. It's really a shame that Auron has the vanilla sphere equipped, otherwise I think this fight would have been a little bit more effective. But in any case, the enemy buffs don't have as big an impact as your debuffs, mainly because both bosses gets many consecutive turns in a row, so their speed up and turn rate up wears off extremely quickly. Whereas on your side, the turn rate down debuff lasts pretty long because I've already removed the speed passives from both Core and Auron, so they take quite a long time to wear off. You also don't have to worry about taking HP damage for the rest of the fight. The bosses will never use Flamethrower Plus from here on in because they will always be kept broken by Core and Auron, and they will either only use Snakebite or Snakebite Plus on their turn. Which version of Snakebite they use is actually RNG dependent, you don't really have a lot of control over it, but both attacks are single target attacks, so Auron will always tank those attacks, and regardless of which version of Snakebite they use, Auron can pretty much tank it up without any issue, which means that for the rest of the fight, Core will never take HP damage ever again. Now if you don't really want to go through the trouble of abusing the Gaze++ attack, because it does require a bit of preparation at the start of the fight, you can actually just tank and spam the fight with a cover tank such as Auron or Gladio. I've also done a Gladio run in one of my attempts without any issue. But I wanted to do this particular video here abusing Gaze++ because it is kind of fun. You don't get many stages where you can actually turn the enemy's attacks against them, and at least this puts a little bit of twist on the usual auto plus run. But you know, if you don't have Auron, you can also just use Gladio and use Core's force time. It does just take a little bit longer because you can't abuse the turn rate down on Gladio. But with saving, let's say for example, the Brother Summon at the end of force time should help you push enough damage through. And even if you can't, you really aren't in any danger of dying, so you can just take your own sweet time to finish off the bosses near the end. On top of that, I didn't set any call abilities on both the characters because I felt there was no need to use a call ability. So another option of course is to use a damaging call such as Cyan LD call at 1 turn of force time remaining. That should help you push additional damage as well if you need to. Cyan LD is on Jack Garland's banner, so if you did pull for Jack Garland, you should score Cyan's LD. And I must say the off-banner units, which is Cyan and Raijin, are very good LD call abilities. So if you don't have those, you should try to get at least their LDs to gain access to Raijin LD call and Cyan LD call. Anyway, that's it for this run. The boss will be dead near the end of the force time. If you enjoy the content, do leave a like, comment and subscribe. It really helps a lot. Till then, I'll see you guys in the next Shinryu fight. Bye!
上々だ。よくやった。